Welcome to this Farming Simulator 19 map tour with me, MrSealyp. Giants Island 2009. This has been converted over by Fullpowershift, and it's an interesting one. I started playing on FS15, so this is like way back 2009 map, and what they've done is try to make it's a nostalgia. So they've tried to keep it as close to the original as possible, which I think is going to make it a bit of a kind of Marmite map, in so much as you're either going to love it or hate it. I think people that remember it from 2009 are going to love that nostalgia thing. If you're new to the game, I personally, and this is just a personal opinion, people may find it a little bit bland. That said, it kind of then gives you a blank canvas to build on, which I think is a very good thing. So where do we start? We start at the main farm, which is pretty much in the middle of the map, roughly. I mean, that's probably the middle of the map, just there. But so we're just about here, middle-ish on the map. A lot of the textures they've tried to keep as standard, like to the original 2009 map. A lot of the buildings are 2009 variants, which is, again, they're trying to keep that feel of the original map. Which, like I say, I don't know, good thing or bad thing, it comes down to a personal preference, really. It depends what you're looking for on a map. As I've said repeatedly now, when I do these first look map tours, it's my opinion that I'm trying to play devil's advocate. I'm asking the questions and then answering the questions that people may well comment and ask me on the map tour. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it. What do we start with regard to what we own, and also field prices, field sizes, those kind of things? Well, we start with this little parcel of land right here, which takes in field 4 and field 32. We've got our main kind of hard standing area with a cow shed, and we've got a silo, lime station. I don't think we've got a lime station, and we've got the barn. That's it. As far as field prices go, really good on this one. If we look at, try and find the biggest one, it's either going to be 13 or 25, I think. But let's click on number 13. 325,000. That's all. One of the biggest fields on there. There's 353, so maybe that is a little bit bigger, I suppose, because it takes in a little bit on the side. But then we go right the way down to things like field 21, 26 grand. Field 33, 26 grand. We've got a really tiny one over here, where are we? Field 8, 28. Field 30. Oh, that takes in the entire parcel there. Okay, 133. Can we buy up that entire bit? We can. 355,000, which is a lot of grassland. So yeah, field prices are brilliant. It's one of those maps you can start off small, you can build up, and even on the really big fields, you're not going to be, too much in the hole. But what's great as well is, because you can buy them up small in little bits and bobs, you can then blend them all together and you can get some fairly nice sized fields. It depends how you want to play the game. As far as sell points go, there aren't many. We've got the barn at the main farm, which obviously is where you're going to sell your straw, hay, all those kind of things. We go right the way across, and you can sell silage there. We've got the harbour sell point, we've got the mill, we've got the restaurant, spinnery and supermarket. That's it. There's no biogas facility, which is something that the new mods actually is going to kind of resolve, because there's a biogas facility you can place in that. And we do start with, in our silo, a few different bits and bobs. 14,000 litres of wheat, 13,000 litres of barley, and so on as you go across. The farm silo holds 100,000 litres, and that's also where things get quite interesting. It's difficult here because the sun's quite low in the sky and it's facing directly at me, so you've got that lighting effect that you kind of get, but as you turn around, it actually looks a bit better. We've got our main farmhouse just here. There's your barn. We've got a shelter, and then we've got farm silo is just over here, and then we've got these other weird ones, and obviously you can see off in the distance this island is littered with wind turbines. That's where things also get a little bit interesting on here. It's a strange one. Equipment we start with, that's pretty much it. We start with the old Deutzfahr. We've got a TX32 combine and header, small cultivator, seeder, small plough. We've got one little silage kind of levelers, a weight and a trailer, and that's pretty much it. Like I say, you don't start with any sheep enclosures, chickens, horses, anything like that. So it kind of again gives you that option. You know, it's fairly flat, the map. We're going to drive around in a second anyway, but we do start with this cowshed. So looking in the garage of what we actually start with, and this is where things are a little bit peculiar. So owned items, all the wind turbines on the island we own. And there are about 15, 16, 17 of them. There's quite a lot. And they're worth 10 grand each. However, if you look down a little below it, it says £0 per hour. So those that are on the island already, you don't earn any income from. They're just there. But you can sell them if you want to. Which is a very strange thing. Because if you go across here to miscellaneous, they have got that very same wind turbine available to buy for £1 million. If you buy it, then you get 1,000 per hour. So whilst there are a load of them on the island already, don't be fooled into thinking you're going to make money per hour. You're not. They all say 0. But we've got the FS19 water station. There's a gas station. There's a whole load of stuff that they've actually put into the Modhub, into the shop menu. But weirdly, not the farmhouse. So if you sell your farmhouse, you're going to have one either sort of brought in from the Modhub or use because it's not there. It's a very odd one. I'm sort of a little bit surprised by that. If we go along and look at our silo options, these are all ones I've got from the Modhub. But if we actually look at our garage, so after the wind turbines, we have got these two FS09 green silos. These green silos have no capacity. They're just there to look like the original map. We've got a straw silo. Again, that says 0 on capacity, so I think they're just decorative placeables to make it look like the old map. Loads of these farm huts, which again don't really serve a purpose other than to look like they did originally. And then we've got the farmhouse. Where have all the... Keep scrolling across here. There we go, right. It's because there's so many wind turbines, that's crazy. Right, so we've got the Fendt fabric, the equipment I just showed you. We've got the cow pasture. That holds only 20 cows though. The farm silo has 100,000 litre capacity and takes the base, what I call the basic kind of crop types. Doesn't take anything more than that. We do have a bunker silo, although that does say capacity 0, which I'm really confused about. It's a bit odd. We've got the implement shed we just looked at. The selling station is your barn. There's the little gas station, the water station, like I say, and then we're back onto the wind turbines again. So it's interesting that we got all of these things here, but they're not actually available, all of them, in the options, which is weird. Animal pens, I think the cow pasture might be. Let's have a quick look. No, that's a different mod. So they're not. So if you sell all of these original ones, there's no way of buying them back. They're not actually in the store to buy. So these are the FS09 originals, but they're not there available. So be careful. If you start on Farm Manager, you still start with all the buildings. You just don't start with these implements in front of you here. Which again, it's not a huge amount. It's not a lot of equipment in front of you. What we are going to do is jump into the fence. Now there are no fences and hedges. You've got the odd little green hedge. You'll see, again, this is kind of the FS09, and the point I was making before is they don't necessarily look particularly real. They don't look like the hedges we're used to seeing in FS19 now, and that's because they're trying to keep it as close to the FS09 original as possible. You've got these hedges. I don't think they have collisions on them as far as I was aware. Oh, no, it does. There's one behind the cow shed, which is kind of a join to. The cow shed's got one, and this has got one. So this little placeable, you've got the fuel station, and the hedge kind of goes with it. And that's the point I was kind of trying to make, is it's not necessarily going to be everyone's cup of tea. They're not necessarily going to like those. Although that said, I think the trees are from FS19, and there appear to be a could be wrong on this, but I remember doing a first look on this on FS17. There appeared to be more trees than there were on 17, but like I say, I could be wrong. As far as anything else going on the map, it is fairly open, fairly bland. It is a blank canvas to kind of work with. There's some nice undulations. It's not like billiard table flat, but being an island, it's not doesn't kind of go on forever. Let's head out to the main road, but you do have the ability, because there aren't loads of hedges and stuff, especially with all the new packs available now, all the mods available, you can customise this map to make it pretty much however you like, which is, you know, it's quite cool. Ploughing fields out and putting them between, you know, so you have larger fields. That option is there without too much hassle once you start buying up the fields. I probably need the time to go on a little bit because it seems ever so, it's not dull I suppose, but right, so we are at the moment just here. So we've just come west from the farm. We've just come down from the farm. We've come west past these fields. If you go down around here, you've got that grass of it. There is a lighthouse just on the, is it peninsula? I'm trying to think. We've got these little bays and we've got a couple of little peninsulas. But like I say, there aren't many sell points. We've got the supermarket up the top. We've got the restaurant there. We've got the spinnery and the Harbour sell point here, and a lime station at the Harbour, and the animal dealer. Transport company doesn't show up on the sell points. I'm assuming that's the like sawmill type sell point. We'll have a look at that in a minute. And then we've got the mill. So most of the sell points are all up this sort of this part, top end of the map. There's not a lot on this bottom section. Really, not a huge amount at all actually. So what we're going to do, we're going to head right. We're going to head up the map and kind of around the map in a clockwise fashion. I think is the best way to go. I was just thinking about when I did my Let's Play, Golden Days of Farming, and that was like the island. It was lots. I think it was smaller than this. Difficult to tell because there was a lot more. There was a lot more kind of terrain. I think we're gonna have a quick whiz out to the left here. As you can see, even by the road markings and the fact the actual road layouts, they're not smooth. You've got kind of sharp pointed bits. They're trying to keep that as close to like the 09 version as they can. I think out the end here is just a little, oh, got building work going on apparently with a skip. Ooh, that's interesting. Nice little Stonehenge up on the side here. Maybe it's an archaeological dig, maybe they're excavating for remains, who knows. It did say in the mods hub, I think that's been added in, is the shipping going around the island. There's various different boats that go around. Just head back onto the main road. As far as just something I didn't mention, let's have a quick look at that. I'm just thinking of slot count. If we go into the store, what we're starting off, so this is on New Farmer because you've got all the equipment you start with. What are we on? Yeah, 209. So with everything you start with on this map, you're only on 209 out of 1299 slots. That's probably so far the lowest I've encountered. I'm trying to think, rack my brains. I think so. And if you start that on Farm Manager or start from scratch without the vehicles, that's going to be even lower. And to be fair, if you wanted to on this one and you got rid of some of the buildings and started again, that would be even lower. So you're almost starting, like I say, with a blank canvas. It is for you to do what you like with. One of the great things about the landscaping tools now, and the fact that we've got all of these different placeable fences and tree packs and all these decorative items available, But normally on maps where you've got a fairly high slot count to start off with, you kind of shy away from it on console. Not completely, but with a very, very low slot count like that, it gives you that scope to be able to kind of really fiddle around and do what you want with it. As you can see, there are lots of those little sheds dotted around all over the place. Those are down as things you own, but you don't have to have them. So here we are at the store. That is like proper old school, isn't it? So there's your customization, repair, sell point, and there's your purchase point for your equipment, implements, so on and so forth. Bear with me 1 second. Sorry, I just want to speed up time a little bit to try and get the sun a little bit higher in the horizon, because it just seemed a little bit dull in places, and I think that was just to do with the time of day more than anything else. It didn't really show off the map at its best light. I know that's kind of obvious, but anyway. Right. There's no more sell points or anything else further out here. We've got a little car park that overlooks this little inlet here, and we can get around to that other side just over there. I think there's a church up on the hillside, which we'll head to in a moment. Right, we're going to come up to the top of the hill here, and there's a little roundabout. On the roundabout, see, this I don't remember having as many trees before, so that's why I'm saying I think they might have added more trees in. It just seems a lot more. Could just be me. Now we're going to head down through. This is the little town. This is the only town on the island, and to be honest with you, there aren't that many houses on it either. So when I say town, village possibly. Just off to our right, got basketball courts, we've got a little skate park, nice little features, and up on the hill, there might just be a house. I thought it was a church, but I could be wrong. More of those little sheds, like I say, they're dotted around the place. There's plenty of grass, obviously, you know, you have to own the land to be able to cut the grass, but there's no shortage of grass. This is incredibly steep though. Does offer some nice vantage points. Or maybe it's just a house. Very nice up on the top of the hill. Right, we're going to head to the first of the sell points. Well, apart from the barn at the main farm, we are coming up on somewhere around here. Supermarket. Whereabouts is the sell point for that? That's odd. Well, this is the supermarket sell point, but I can't find. There's no grill or grate or anything like that. Unless I've missed it. We should be standing right on top of it here, according to the sell point thing. It's peculiar. Let's have a look in here. That's a weird one. Supermarkets down the bottom. What can we sell at the supermarket? Oh, it's eggs and milk, isn't it? I wonder where you actually do that then. Well, this is the sell point, but I can't actually see. There's no hazard marked area. Where you actually take that to? Okay, well, it's here. Maybe you'll find it better than I will. And this is one of those things that as you kind of drive through, it will just automatically take it. front, is it? Nope. That's your supermarket. Continuing on, heading eastward across the top of the map. Trying to rack my brains from previous versions of this. So I'm sure there was a garden centre sell point. I'm sure there was a pub as well that was a sell point. I'm trying to remember now. So I say we've just come across the top now. We're heading south a little bit towards the restaurant, then we're going to come round towards the harbour. Yeah, I could have sworn on the original one the garden centre was there and there was a pub. Maybe that's the restaurant now. Could be. There's no actual gas station on the map, and like I said before, there's no biogas plant for you to buy or use, so like I say, that new mod's going to come in quite handy actually. Restaurant just coming up on the left. Oh, that is the pub, yeah. Sell point for that. Oh, there's an actual sell point. I'm getting rather confused. There we go, there's the grate there. That's what I was looking for at the supermarket. Something along those lines, but it didn't appear to be there. So that's your restaurant sell point. Continuing on. There's not a huge amount to the map. It's not intricate, complicated, like so, because you don't start off with all the livestock, you don't start off with lots of animal pens other than the cow pasture. There's not a huge amount to look at, and because the textures and terrains are trying to keep it as close to the original version as possible, it is that nostalgia map. I know I keep saying that, but that's really, I'm just in my head trying to think what viewers and subscribers and people are going to see when they watch it and what they're going to comment, and you know, that's always the tricky thing to try and kind of allow for that in your head. We've got alignment points just here. I think it's these. Which one of these it is, I'm not 100% certain. Should be one of those. That's your line point. There's no one behind me, is there? Nope. We've got the harbour sell point just here. So that's your harbour sell point. If we go across one, we've got the spinnery, which is just here. Yeah, that lighting's really, it's driving me mad. Yeah, so that's your spinnery. If we go a bit further on, we've got a livestock market. And again, it's not fancy, it's not all, you know, lots of... No, it's awful to say, because this is the way the map's supposed to be. They've made it this way. The walls are very blocky, everything's very blocky, but then it was because that's how the map originally was. And again, I think I said the same thing with PGR Slurno. If you're bringing out a new map, they've put on there it's nostalgia, but are people looking for the FS19 version of? Do people want an upgraded map with all the new textures, all the new cool stuff, newly designed buildings and that kind of thing? Or do they want a nostalgic map? I don't know, like I say, I'm just playing devil's advocate. This is your animal livestock market. If I click L3 on there, we have the ability to buy, well at the moment, just cows, because that's the only pen we have at the moment. It won't allow me to buy anything else because I don't have anything else or anywhere else to put them. And then round here, up the slope and by the crane next to the ship, we have got the transport company. And like I say, this I think is where you sell your logs, because you've got that little disc there, and you've got the hazard marked area here. So if you do any lumber, it's here. There's no forest on the map. I don't think there's a forest on the map. I'm pretty sure when I looked Like I said, there's trees dotted around all over the place, but not a dedicated forest as such. But it's the sort of thing you could plant and put in if you want to. That would be, again, entirely up to you. But I didn't find anywhere for wood chips. I'm pretty sure the barn at the main farm doesn't take wood chips. Let's just double check that again. I just want to make sure I'm not wrong on that. No. Although it does say... Oh, that's sugarcane, isn't it? I was going to say that's wood chips, but it's not, is it? Oh no, it is wood chips. Of course it is. So it says Harbour. The Harbour sell point will take wood chips. Okay, fair enough. So I would imagine your lumber comes here then, and the wood chips doesn't actually have a wood chip pile as we're kind of getting used to now on versions of the game. That just goes into the Harbour sell point. Okie dokie. That is pretty much all the sell points. Driving around the map, it's, you know, the same sort of terrain, same sort of textures. Field sizes vary. I always remembered them being a little bit blockier, the field, so I think something they have worked on is trying to get the field shapes a little bit more kind of interesting, because I recall them being a lot more kind of squared off, but again, that's my thing. Oh no, the mill. We haven't been to the mill, have we? That's further around this way. Let's do the mill. I apologise the fact I keep on going on about the fact it's a nostalgia map and the fact that there's been... I want people to understand that the map maker has made it this way on purpose. This is not, you know... And also the fact that I've been criticised quite heavily recently of being negative about people's maps and things like that. I comment on what I see in front of me. And if a map's been put together and it looks, you know... or it doesn't look good, or there's lots of things wrong with it, I will point them out, because that's kind of the point of doing a review on it. Otherwise, what's the point? So this is our mill sell point for, I think it's just main grain types, isn't it, on this one? Let's go back across to the mill. Yeah, that one will take your main crops, your grain crops, but nothing else, whereas the Harbour sell point will take a lot more. It will take potatoes and sugar beet and sugar cane, and as we now know, wood chips as well. And milk, and you know, that's really the Harbour is going to be your main sell point. The mill, like I say, will only take your cereal crops. Restaurant, according to that, only wheat and barley. Blimey, okay, only wheat and barley at the restaurant. So yeah, not a huge array to choose from really, but then it's not a big map, so it's not like it's going to take you ages to get to that one sell point. So what I'll do now, if I follow this road round, we're going down the eastern side of the map now. This will swing around the bottom. There are lots of tracks that kind of crisscross the map between fields that can take you back to your main farm. This route round will take us round to the bottom. We'll go over a little bridge. There's another tiny little, I suppose, a little cove. Something very small, to be fair. Just here. And once we get to the southern point of the map, which is going to be very, very soon, if we head north up any one of the tracks, we're going to be heading back up towards the main farm. And that's pretty much it. Like I say, it's, you know, it's not going to be for everyone. Not everyone's going to like it. But then that's the same with any map. I mean, to be fair, you know, maps that I've played on or done reviews on, which I've thought have been absolutely fantastic, people have hated, and vice versa. That's just the way, you know, with so many different people with so many different tastes, there's going to be something for everyone. This is, personally, I think, more of a kind of blank canvas map, in so much as there is a lot of option here for customization, for making this map your own, and that's a good thing. That, you know, some maps are too restrictive and you can't do a huge amount with them, but this one, yeah, loads of scope, loads and loads of scope. And as we head back up towards the main farm, that is pretty much it. As I always say on my guide tours and my map tours, I'm sure I've missed something. I'm bound to have done. I covered the silos, 100,000 litre capacity, main crop types. Don't think I missed anything on machinery. I don't think I missed anything on the sell points. I'm trying to rack my brains. One thing I haven't really gone into in detail is the cow shed here. The cow shed, that's where you buy your cows from. I think the straw point is here, but there's also what looks like the water trough. So I'm not sure if you do straw and water at this point here. I think this is your feed trough area down the sides here. That I think is your slurry pit, but I'm not sure where the manure goes. There's not a... Normally have a little bunker thing that the manure goes into, but there's no pasture bit included with the cow silo here. Cow barn, cow shed. They are just in this little bit here. So again, this is kind of... I would imagine a lot of people are probably going to start on Farm Manager. Where's the trigger for that gone? There we go. And kind of build this up from scratch themselves, unless you really remember playing on this on FS09 and you really want to go full, you know, full nostalgia. So that's it. That's Giants Island 2009 for Farming Simulator 19. 10 years on. That's quite scary, isn't it? I hope you find this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you do, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free, and if you want to share this video, then please be my guest, whatever you choose to do. Thanks for watching.